What's up, everyone? It's Fuzzy. Welcome back to yet another MLB recap. We have a player getting stung by a bee during that bat. Like, I'm not joking. A bee actually attacked a hitter, and then that guy stung a baseball 2 seconds later. Multiple trades just went down. We have 3 of them in today's video. None of them were league-shattering by any means, but we do have to break them down. No, stop. Can we throw strikes? Eugenio Suarez took 96 to the hands. Other trade targets like Luis Robert Jr. and Edward Cabrera, they shined yesterday, so they're upping their value at the perfect time. Fernando Tatis Jr. might have robbed a home run. We just have to see if they called it a catch or if he just straight up dropped it. And an Angels rookie for sure dropped a baseball. This has to be the worst feeling in the world, but at least his teammates had his back. You guys know the drill. This is MLB Recap, a series in which we do exactly that. We recap every baseball game almost every single day. What's not to love? Stick around, subscribe. And if you're still fiending for some baseball after the video ends, head on over to playback.tv/the show because I'm going to be live for the rest of the season with my boy Cougs46. It's the first ever platform where MLB actually trusted in someone and said, yeah, you guys can stream games. Stream MLB game. Yes, you can live stream MLB games with the chat. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Now, like, actually, this might be the future. This is sick. So if you want to watch live MLB games with me and Cougs46, as well as a few other creators that are going to come on over the next few weeks, we got trivia, giveaways coming. Head on over to playback.tv/the show. I'll see you guys over there. Man, this is one of the saddest beginnings to a recap we've ever had. Rest in peace to the Rhino. I was introduced to Ryne Sandberg back in MLB 18 when Immortal cards came out and there was a Immortal Ryne Sandberg. I wasn't really into baseball history back then, but I quickly found out about the 1984 MVP, the 9-time Gold Glover. This guy stole over 340 bags and won a home run derby. Ryne Sandberg was one of the all-time greats, at least in my opinion, especially for second basemen. We're going to miss him dearly. He was awesome. So let's talk about those trades from yesterday. The Tigers picked up 2 pitchers and 1 from the interdivision rival, the Twins. They got Chris, who used to be known as the Sheriff Paddock, and the former Uber driver. I hate that he's basically known for that, but that's just, you know who I'm talking about, Randy Dobnak. They had to act fast after Reese Olson, who's been so good this year, was transferred to the 60-day IL. Paddock has been awful, but he did just throw a quality start with 8 strikeouts, no walks against the Dodgers, so maybe the Tigers are thinking, hey, we can build off that and fine-tune his mechanics. Randy Dobnak got figured out quick after his 1.6 ERA, his first cup of coffee debut season back in 2019, and then the Yankees fan base started chanting Uber at him, and it was kind of downhill from there. Who do the Twins get in return? They get the switch-hitting 19-year-old catcher Enrique Jimenez. Again, he's a switch hitter with decent pop, but he's better known for his defensive skills. He's not bad. We have another trade, Danny Jansen, who signed with the Rays over the offseason. He just got traded to the Brewers. He's an awesome blocking catcher with some pop. We know that. And he takes his walks, but he doesn't really control the run game very well anymore, and he strikes out a good bit. They also want Ryan O'Hearn. I'm hearing rumors that the Brewers are still shopping. They want Ryan O'Hearn, which if they get him and Jansen would be 2 very nice adds at the deadline. And by the way, the deadline ends in 2 or 3 days, so it's coming. The Rays get the 21-year-old, I'm going to botch this name, so I'm really sorry, Jadher Areinamo, something like that. He is a dual-threat outfielder who takes his walks, but he hasn't made it past A-ball since joining back in 2021. So this is very much a flyer, and yeah, he could be good in the future, but he might not be. Who knows? They're prospects. Then the Rays immediately filled in the hole left behind by Danny Jansen with Marlins catcher Nick Fortes, who is pretty good at blocking, like just as good at blocking as Danny Jansen, and he's much better at controlling the run game, but he is one of the worst hitters in baseball. I'm talking a 58 OPS plus the last 3 seasons type bad. I mean, that's horrific. The Marlins get 23-year-old outfielder Matthew Etzel. He is a speed demon. I believe he stole 45 bags last season with 11 home runs. So he gets on base. He takes his walks. He can steal some bases. And I'm pretty sure he's a good defensive outfielder, just like every other Rays outfielder, aside from Chandler Simpson, who is converting from infield to outfield. So it's going to take some time. So those were all of the trades from yesterday. Time to talk about yesterday's games. And of course, the Guardians' first game without Clase came down to the final inning, and they might have just blown a save and given up 3 RBIs to a guy they traded away. There's Tyler Freeman going to right field on a sac fly. By the way, he was traded for that guy, Nolan Jones. His second RBI, staying with Tyler Freeman, was a single in the 5th inning. And does it feel warm to you guys a little bit? Rookie warming Bernabel has a home run in back-to-back games. It's 3-0. Or at least it was. Bo Naylor, he and his brother both hit home runs in this recap. This was a 3-run Bo bomb, and then Silos, he took a bases-loaded walk. Schneemann knocked in a 5th run, and then the all-star Hunter Goodman got it back to a 1-run game. He hammered it for his 19th home run. Cade Smith, who I call the Terminator, he was out there for Clase. Doyle bunted. Cade Okay, and then Tyler Freeman had a perfect placement for his third RBI. Goodman got his second RBI extra base hit of the game. In Colorado, they complete the comeback after they gave up a lead of their own. Just an embarrassing day all around for the Guardians franchise. I have no idea what the plan is now because they were probably going to trade Clase for a big haul. That can't happen now. Mark Vientos could have had a massive 2-home run, 6 RBI night, but Nando took away what could have been his first home run. He has 9 outs above average on the season. He's hitting .320 over his last 19 games, so he is looking like postseason Nando all over again. And okay, here it is. So they called that first one a catch. It was dropped on the transfer. This is a real home run way over Nando's head. It is a grand slam for Mark Vientos. Again, it could have been an even bigger night, but a grand slam, still a big game. Luis Ariz, did he just pimp a home run? Or was he just seeing if it was fair or foul? That's a home run. Frankie Montas is out, and the Padres did not care who was in. Cronenworth, he beat out an infield RBI single. Bryce Johnson added another, and so did Elias Diaz. It's 6-5 Padres, and the broadcasters jinxed Robert Suarez. They said, only 1 home run allowed all year. Make it 2. Ronnie Mauricio might be here. 2 straight games with a home run. He's batting .311 with a .960 OPS his last 20 games. It's going to come down to this at-bat. Elias Diaz, he's already clutched up, and he clutches up again off the newcomer, Gregory Soto. So 2 go-ahead RBIs in 1 game. Now, staying with that last game, Soto got Juan Soto got hosed by one of the worst umpiring jobs I've ever seen, or at least in quite some time. There's a lot of bad umpires out there. This first call was way off the plate. Like, I get it. It's fun to have the human element for ejections and stuff like that, but it just doesn't seem fair. Now, this second pitch was a whole lot closer, but you can still argue that it was a ball. Soto's obviously upset. Mendoza had to fall on the sword before Soto got ejected, and Pete Alonso whisked away his teammate. Now, later in the same game, Soto got punched out on a ball a few inches up. Even the pitcher, Morahone, was waiting for the ball to be thrown back by his catcher because he thought it was a ball as well. Listen, again, human element, it's cool. Ejections are fun, but enough! Uh-oh. Is it the Jays' turn now to have a down week or two? So the Tigers, they just went through it. The Blue Jays had the best record in baseball for like 2 seconds, and now it's gone after back-to-back losses. The Orioles, they're taking daddy hacks in this one. Mullins, he's trying to empty the tank and show other teams that he still has juice in his bat, both maybe for a trade or the free agency market. He's a free agent after 2025. Kobe Mayo, he's got a brand new stance, and it's working. He still has that little stutter step, but he's got a higher stance now, and his arms are a little bit closer together. Nathan Lucas, he got 1 back with his 8th home run. Wait, are we tied up? Vladdy, he took a good long look at this. His 15th home run. He's batting .432 in the second half. My lord. Adley, his first game back in over a month. I thought that he had it. It's a 2-run double. Gunner, he flew around from first base to score. Nathan Lucas could have had 2, but just like Mark Vientos had one taken back, Mullins, he scaled the wall to bring it back. No one's bringing back this next pitch. Ramon has 15 home runs, 430 feet on that 2-run moonshot, and shout out to Bo Bichette, who reached base 9 at-bats in a row with the base hit. It got snapped in his final at-bat, but I wanted to shout him out. Colton Cowser, he bashed his 9th home run, and I'm just going to say this. Prayer circles around George Springer. It deflected off his shoulder and then into his helmet. Again, I'm praying like crazy that he's going to be okay because the Jays just lost Alejandro Kirk as well, and that's why the 162-game baseball schedule is just brutal. You can be on top of the world and then at the bottom in a week, just based off vibes. I mean, look at this crap. Throw it over the plate, please. So this is later in this Diamondbacks and Tigers game. I'm praying that Gino's going to be okay as well. So miscommunication handed the Tigers their first run. Javi, I guess he heard me say that he's back to being awful, so that is an RBI in 2 straight games. Andy Ibanez is playing in his first game since June 6th, and he's always loved hitting lefties. That ball is scorched. It's gone. Matt Vierling, he ripped it past Alec Thomas for an RBI 2-bagger. And then the catcher, Dylan Dingler, dinged out his 9th home run. He had 3 base hits by the 6th inning. Torrey Melton, geez, what a bounce back. He was tagged for 6 earned runs in his debut. He bounces back for 7 scoreless, no runs in his very next start. He throws gas, and he's got great command. I really need him to shine because the Tigers, they desperately need his innings, let's face it. Alec Thomas ran into a baseball to make it 5-1, but I'm going to fast forward to this. Dude, please be okay. 96 to the hands. That is the second time that Eugenio Suarez has been hit in the hands. He was hit in the hands in the All-Star game of all things. I've said this a million times in this video already, but I'm praying that these guys like Springer and Suarez are going to be okay. Will Vest, he got the bobble double play. He eventually ended it. The Tigers, they're back to winning. They've won 2 in a row. Coming up, we have a near 460-foot home run from Ronald. Ohtani and Harper, they are spraying RBI extra base hits, and Then there was a guy who got stung by a bee and then ripped a double. So Ronald's home run and the bee sting were in the same game. Let's find the Braves and the Royals. Maikel Garcia, he's the bee guy. He had 2 doubles. His first one was an RBI double in the first. He then scored on a Salvi single. I had no idea. At first I was like, why is Maikel cheesing so hard? He's Ronald's cousin. That's why he was cheesing and pointing, because he beat the relay. Ronald, he can cheese now. Wait, I thought it went 458. It almost went 470. 468 feet on that 2-run home run. Ronald has been a monster this year. Marcel, he did not go 470, but it's a big fly for the Big Bear. Maybe his last as a Brave. Austin Riley, he launched one way out. He had 4 RBIs. 3 more came on a double after Matt Olson had a 2-run knock of his own. Olson has 44 extra base hits and 66 RBIs. Riley has 52 RBIs. Randall, he just crushed his first as a Royal. He just got traded there a couple days ago. There was a little rally for the Royals, but Rizal, he earned his 12th save. So the Braves, they win. You are almost never going to beat the Dodgers when Yamamoto strikes out 9 and Ohtani is slicing baseballs to the gap to score multiple runs. Teo plated their first run, and after former Dodger Gavin Lux, he tied it at 1 with an RBI ground out. Yoshinobu got angry. Like, I'm talking 2 base hits the rest of the game type angry, and now he's back out in front. A 2-run double from the Unicorn. Ohtani has 17 RBIs and an over 1,000 OPS his last 15 games. He and Ellie were kind of chopping it up at second base, which is a flashback to when Ellie first met Ohtani, and he poked Ohtani to see if he was even real. Teo and Freddie, they matched those 2 RBIs with some singles. It wasn't really that close of a game thanks to the 9 punchies and only 4 base hits from Yamamoto, who's down to a sub 2.5 ERA with 133 strikeouts already. Jack Dreyer had to bail out Blake Treinen because he almost imploded. These 1-out saves are always fun. The Dodgers are 62-45. It's crazy that 4 teams in baseball either have the same or better record. You have another MVP lacing 2-run doubles. Harper, he's flying in with a hustle double, so I'm thinking all the way. The Phillies with Sanchez on the bump, they're going to destroy the White Sox. These are the Colson Montgomery White Sox. This kid is insane. He might actually be the next Corey Seager. Like, that was his comp when he was first drafted a few years ago. That is the first home run allowed to a lefty hitter all year by Christopher Sanchez. He has 4 home runs and 14 RBIs his last 10 games, and the Sox are now 7-3 in those last 10. They took this one as well. La Pantera, Luis Robert Jr., he has catapulted his trade value the last 2 weeks. There's a diving grab in center and a cute, like, the fact that this ball left, he kind of missed it, and it still left for a 2-run home run. The Phillies are reportedly very, very interested in Rober, so maybe this was just an audition. Lenyn Sosa socked a hanging, awful curve. I mean, that was basically the worst curveball I've ever seen. So he's lucky it's not a 2-run home run. Colson grabbed a 3rd RBI. It was a weird bounce off of Harper's glove and then the spin off the bag and stuff like that. Grant Taylor, who was a star at LSU with Paul Skeens, got the triple-digit final out. No save, but the White Sox look kind of nice lately. You may never see an inning like this ever again. So the Cubs and the Brew Crew, they're still duking it out in one of the most vital series for both squads all year. And the Miz, he was effectively wild because he struck out PCA, but it got away. Maybe that was the missed block that Milwaukee needed to see to make that Danny Jansen trade, because he's amazing at blocking, even though Contreras is pretty good back there. Oh no, the Miz, he threw a baseball into right field. Now, thankfully, the Miz has Christian Yelich, an RBI machine, on his squad. And Isaac Collins, I mean, has this guy been a top 5 right fielder in baseball this year? That's a game-tying 2-run knock. He has a 125 OPS plus with insane defense out there. Andrew Vaughn, are you serious? He has a 213 OPS plus in his first 14 games with the Brew Crew. Sal Frelick, he is one of the better defenders in baseball, and he gets on base and never strikes out. That's his 8th home run. The Cubs, they scored again, but look at the seed from Jackson Chourio. That is a fantastic play and a nice tag from Caleb Durbin. Yelich, bang! He has 20 home runs and 69 very nice RBI. He also has 15 stolen bases. Trevor McGill got a 1-out save thanks to some guy named Craig Yoho almost pulling a Blake Treinen. So again, an easy 1-out save for his 24th of the season. The Brewers have won 2 in a row. They're a half game up on the Jays for the best record in baseball. I cannot believe I'm asking this, but like, are the Yankees still an elite team to you guys? Junior Caminero, he's going to be feasting on them for the next decade or 2. He just turned 22 years old, and he has 27 home runs with 70 RBIs. If he ever learns to take his walks and strike out less, just pencil him in for 15 Silver Sluggers and a Hall of Fame plaque. Drew Rasmussen gave the Yankees a few free runs. There was one bases load to walk the Jazz, another to Ryan McMahon, but all good though. He settled in, and then his right fielder gave him the lead back, Josh Lowe. He went up the middle on a 98-mile-per-hour fastball. The Yankees got put in a blender after that. There's no Judge in the lineup to save them. The Rays put out Pete Fairbanks in the 8th to handle Stanton, and he got it done. So he completes a 4-out save. He has 18 of those now. Not 4-out saves, but saves in general. Johnny DeLuca showed off that elite speed to end it. The Yankees are 15-2 24 their last 39 games. They have been terrible. The Mariners are actually about to leapfrog the Yankees for the best AL wildcard spot. Josh Naylor, he absolutely nailed a lefty-lefty tank. I told you guys that he and his brother both went yard, so that's Josh's first as a Mariner. He got on again, and he was picked off a sitting duck, but he got to third base on a bad throw. So instead of this being a can of corn out, it's an RBI sac fly for Mitch Garver. Cal Raleigh, he singled in their third and final run. Ben Williamson, he had the head-first dive at home. Cal's at 87 RBIs. And staying with Williamson, would have played at the hot corner. It ended up being an RBI fielder's choice, but it could have been way worse. Luis Castillo is very grateful. He went 7 strong innings, and Ben saved his team yet again with the leather. It is a tie, maybe even a brand new ball game, and the A's on top. If Ben Williamson was not at the hot corner, he probably saved 4 runs from scoring. Andres Munoz now has 24 saves. The Mariners are top 10 in OPS as an offense and 12th in team ERA. And I feel like those are great places to be at this point in the season. And the offense, it could get even better if they do trade for a Gino or other guys. The Mariners are also now just 3 games back of the Astros for first place in the West. Framber struck out 12 Nationals. I thought, okay, yeah, 100%. If he's striking out 12, he's going to win this game. That was his 1,000 strikeout right there. He got up to 1,007 after leaving with a dozen of those. Brad Lord, he was sick. He had a perfect game into the 5th, and there goes everything. The no-no, the shutout, everything. Dubon doubled in Yiner, but Brad's off the hook now because Nathaniel Lowe, he just hit his 63rd RBI of the season, and that set up a go-ahead home run for Riley Adams later in the 7th. The Nationals have won 3 games in a row. Finnegan secured his 20th save, and I have to ask a question. I know this is probably me overreacting, but are the Astros overachieving? They have so many injuries and health updates. Should they trade Framber, who's a free agent after this season, for a massive package because a playoff contender could definitely use him? Or should they just keep on building and building and maybe try and re-sign Framber? Because to me, honestly, he should be a lifetime Astro. He looks awesome in that uniform. Pittsburgh is another bad team that out of nowhere could win 3 in a row. Nicky Nukes. I don't know if that nickname is better than Nicky G, but hey, it works. He hits another home run. The Pirates, they ran it up even more following a Matt Chapman triple to tie. Matt Chapman has been red hot with the extra base hits. Rookie Carson Whisenhunt, he just could not miss bats when he needed to. He allows 4 earned runs in his big league debut, but he's going to be just fine. He's nasty. Now, the Giants did make it a fun game as Brett Wisely had a ground rule double. Adames had 2 separate RBI singles, but then the former Giant, he tagged them for good. Andrew McCutchen. I don't know if you guys remember this, but he was once traded for Brian Reynolds. People forget about that. McCutchen has 10 home runs. He's the 11th player ever to have double-digit home runs his first 17 seasons in baseball. Jung-Hoo Lee. The Giants are rallying again. David Bednar really has to lock in. He hasn't really imploded in quite some time. He does bounce back. The Pirates, they get their 3rd win in a row and just their 14th win on the... They're 14-37 on the road. The Giants have lost 4 games in a row. They're 4 games back of a playoff spot. This next game, no BS, took like 6 hours to complete. These games are life ruiners. Deshaun Kersey, he jolted... I know that Deshaun had this amount of power. That is a 2-run Apotaco over Roman's head. Alex Bregman, he banged out another Bregman bomb, a 3-run long ball for the lead, and there goes the lead. Yeah, Christian Vasquez, he ties it on a sac fly. There's absolutely no chance to throw out Royce Lewis at home. Roman, the rookie, cashed in. David Hamilton. I got to tip my cap to David Hamilton's 2 stolen bases. He is straight up a top 10 base runner I've ever seen. He has 50 stolen bases his last 162 games, and he almost never gets caught. Here comes the rain and the wind and the lightning, too. There was puddles. A 90-minute delay ensued. Jordan Hicks, it's just a meltdown, dude. A single back-to-back hit by pitches. You hate to see it because I do like Jordan Hicks. Brooks Lee became Brooks Wee. He replaced the L with the W with the walk-off. The Red Sox, they need the Rangers to lose. Otherwise, the Rangers, they'll be in the wild card, not the Red Sox. Wait, hold up. Who is that? Kevin Newman. Didn't Kevin Newman just retire? Hold up. I just looked. I am thinking of Nick Ahmed. I don't know how I got those guys confused. Maybe you guys just understand. I don't know. But that is a 2-run tater for Newman off of Jacob deGrom. That's never going to happen ever again. Jack Kahanowitz, he finally looked decent. He's going to go through... What? Gustavo Camparo. He botched it. He dropped it. Now it's 2-2. Joe Adell, he's had his fair share of embarrassing moments, including a baseball off the top of his noggin that bounced over for a home run. Zach Neto, he also had Gustavo's back. He scored Gustavo out of kid from first base. And goodbye lead again. Taylor Ward has... Wait. I got ahead of myself. Hold on. Josh Young, he jammed out another. He has 3 home runs and 10 RBIs his last 14 games. He's cooking. There's Taylor Ward, a rare stinker for the GOAT. So Taylor Ward has 25 home runs and 78 RBIs. Luis Rengifo, maybe Another time saying, Luis, that ball does leave. So the Angels, they run it up in the final few frames as Kenley Jansen secures his 19th save. So the Red Sox do stay a half game up on the Rangers. The Angels have won 2 in a row. They're within 4.5 games. The Cardinals are still very much in the thick of things in the wild card, and maybe I just sound like a fake baseball fan, but I love the 3 wildcard teams because half of MLB would basically be giving up already. So it's kind of cool to see teams with an incentive to grind it out. But on the flip side, maybe it's false hope and they should be shipping guys out and resetting. Burleson, he straight up rakes. He has 2 home runs and 4 RBIs the last 24 hours. He has a 130 OPS plus after his 14th home run. The Cardinals, Agustin Ramirez gifted 1 and then a second later on a catcher's interference. Not before Edward Cabrera really honed in and tore up the Cardinals lineup, and he upped his trade value. 1 earned run over 6. Maybe his final start as a fish. Pallante, we're talking about Andre Pallante, went 7 innings with 1 base hit. That's the second time he's done that his last 5 starts, but also he had 3 awful starts in between. He is one of the weirdest pitchers I've ever seen. It's 3-0 on an interference. We're going to skip to this easy 3-run 2-bagger from Mason Wynn. Jordan Walker, he then traded places with Wynn. The Cardinals are 3.5 games back. They have plenty of offense to keep up, but the pitching, I mean, it's always going to be a head scratcher, which doesn't make sense because we're talking about the Cardinals. Whew, that was a big boy recap. If you guys enjoyed that one, all you have to do to show some appreciation is leave a like and also follow me. Go join my playback room, playback.tv/the show. It's going to be with Cougs46. We got giveaways, trivia, challenges, other creators coming on. It's going to be a blast. So I'll see you guys over there and enjoy the web gems.
Shallow right, Fernando racing in, sliding and making the catch. Okay, now, I want it to happen. And a short diving stop, Taylor Walsh, and then signed off.
And yielded 3 singles. Ramirez with a terrific play.
This is golf into shallow left. Hernandez coming on, he slides.
This could be a tough play. And out at first base.